Hi, and welcome to Mason Jar Makeover, Arrowhead Edition. Today, Mr. Snaky is moving out of his one-room shack into one of our luxury condos while we make over his new pad into a true piece of art. How do you feel about this, Mr. Snaky?
Well, I hope they do a good job.
As you see, it's got a big hole in it. Just trying to knock off any of these sharp edges here. They're angled down, because once you fracture into them, they'll send a crack all the way across the glass there. I do not want that. I do not want that at all. Got a thick edge right here, but you can work around it. Kind of just flake, and then you see it narrows it down a little bit. And there you go. Not thick anymore. Okay, what I'm going to start doing is working everything down one way so I can get, there we go, so I can get my entire blade, so to speak, on one side, and then I'll start working it in this way. And perhaps I can get chips to go all the way into the number 2 on the mason jar there. Maybe, God willing, we'll see. I got a thick spot starting to develop right here. Sometimes I can work in from the edges to take it out. Usually it's not a big deal. Taking it easy around this tip. You don't want to get ridiculous with it. Next thing you know, your tip will be missing if you do. So I was going to make a fluted point out of this, probably just something simple like a Clovis. Yeah, there we go. And I got a good midline ridge going there. I think that's key for whenever you're fluting a point. You want that flute to follow up that mid ridge of your point. So I really don't expect to get much of a flute out of it, maybe a third of the way, maybe half, because I'm going to do just a direct fluting on it. So we'll see if I get a halfway decent flute. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Alright, now I'm going to move over to pressure flaking and take it from there and get it a little more ready on these edges, and then I'm going to take the flute out as soon as I work me a good nipple there on the bottom. Got a little bit of a thick spot left right here. Hard to be able to work that out. So I normally don't do that much pressure flaking to it before I try to flute it, but I felt like I had to get rid of some of those thick spots before I done that, so I did, and here we are. So what I like to do is when I put my striking nipple in the base is to do quite a bit of grinding on it, because you don't want a lot of sharp edges on there. I just grind mine down to where whenever I do take off a flake, you're going to make sure that you get a good impact in there, and it'll definitely take off more than just a little bit. You can grind it by rubbing it a little bit. Make sure you ain't got no sharp points on there. Oh man, get off there. I ain't need no spiders hanging out on my camera. There we go. Not the best looking striking nipple, but not the worst. Okay, I'm going to try to do more of a direct in, but you don't want to go too in, because you send a flute all the way up, you'll break it sometimes right in the middle, or you'll just take off your tip. I don't mind taking off the tip if I got a good flip. Yeah, a good flip. Cute. If I've got a good flute, but I would rather just keep a flute about midway or a little less is fine with me on this direct pressure flaking. This direct fluting, should I say. Well, I got a good hit, but it took off the striking nipple. Didn't really follow the path like I wanted it, but it's okay. I'm gonna try again. Oh yeah. Well, wow. Not the fracture I was looking for. Probably going to do a lot of repairing to this one if I can't aim a little better. I'm going to use that as a striking nipple right there on the side. Oh yeah. Not exactly, but not terrible. Oh yeah, that's a little better. I got a piece of glass on me. I got a little bit of a flute. Goes to about right there. Trying to get that other striking point, striking nipple worked in there. Grinding my base again for my second flute. Just grind that base. Grind it, work it. Yeah. Okay. That's not bad. It's not great, but it ain't bad. You can see I got a flute in it. It's not terrible, but I've kind of destroyed my bottom trying to get that in there. So, oh well, let me shape it up again, and I'll call it quits. I'll tell you what, I worked with a spear point one time, that was 8 inches long, and I kept working with it until I got it the way I wanted it. Not really. But then at the end I wasn't left with anything, so you can either stop at some point or you can't be afraid of messing up arrowheads though as you're making them. I mean, you're gonna mess up, gonna make mistakes, but part of it. That's how you learn. You can use this really fine tip antler right here, do any precision work. that I want along that edge right there to see if I can get some finer work going. There it is. Genuine Clovis point made out of a mason jar, which is not very genuine at all. Oh, that's my work.
So, Snaky, here's your new house. How do you like it?
Oh, you think I can get a roof?
No. That's all the time we have, and thank you for joining Mason Jar Makeover, Arrowhead Edition.